All right, it's just rolling right now. Everybody pretty much has introduced each other and all of that kind of stuff. Turn right. Um,
Don't say that.
yeah,
Me out.
whatever. But anyway, welcome to the Go Bag class and the Get Home Bag class. So what we're doing right now, I don't know for y'all to see, I'm sitting back this way, so if y'all don't see me, but y'all hope you can hear me. but But in any case, if you have your bags, we can set them out. What we're going to talk about is a few things, right? There are three, technically two different types of main bags you want to have, right? The two types of main bags you want to have is your get home bag and your bug out bag. And a lot of times people confuse them. Some people have everyday carry bags, but that is not a rule, if you guys follow me. Everyday carry is just simply, as I was explaining, everyday carry is just simply something that you carry, the things that you carry with you daily: pocket knife, multi tool, firearm, handkerchief, little medi kit, those, water spigot tool, things like that. And we're gonna get into those things. If and those are just things that you carry on your person every day: ink pen, marker, medications if you need it. I've seen a lot of different pictures of people sending me different things and stuff like that of their bag. Um, and what I want to do right now, we're going to talk about scenarios, the what ifs, right? I know a lot of people go to what we call YouTube's Academy, and we look at these things and we forget a lot that these people need subscribers, they need followers, and they're also supported by different brands. And so it's their job, in order to keep their channel functioning and keep an income for themselves, to promote certain brands, right? It's also in their interest, um, to get you to subscribe to what they're doing so you can watch. And a lot of times they're going to always show you the pretty bells and whistles and gadgets. And we say, ooh, I could use that. Ooh, I can get that. Ooh, that would be a great ad for what I'm doing. And then we go spend all that money on that stuff, and it sits in our bags and it dry rots. Or or it may be a great idea, and we were just speaking on firearms and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, how often are we using these things? So that's another pertinent part of EDC. Is your EDC is something that you're going to use every day. If you ride, let's say if you ride your bike to work, you're probably going to have in your EDC kit some kind of small toolbox or something to fix your chain, to tighten up some handlebars, whatever the case may be. You might have a little ratchet, in case something happens, because you're going to say to yourself, well, man, I'm riding every day, I might need this. I'm riding, I might need electrolytes. How many of us keep electrolytes, on hot days? People drop from heat stroke unexpectedly. They figure, hey, I'm hydrated, and we don't know that just drinking water is not hydrating you.
Real salts.
No,
You need
right.
like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and
Exactly.
the three of those at least.
And how many of us keep those in our vehicles and in our go bags? Perfect. I like that. I like seeing that. All right. So those are things that we want to keep in mind. You brought your bag. I want you to demonstrate your bag and show me what you got in it.
I tried to stuff it as full as I could stuff
Hmm.
it. Okay.
And keep in mind, and I even feel on this sometimes, is accessibility. How fast can you get to what you need when you need it? Do you have to search through your bag to find stuff? So we want to pack our bags in an order in which this is first aid, this is that. I can get to it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is what I consider my everyday carry. So whenever I leave, I always keep it in the car that I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
So I can not even file pocket. And I must admit I haven't been there a while.
That's fine. Neither have, we're all. That's why we're all here.
Okay, so I got some chapstick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sternum.
some gloves.
And take notes, y'all, because y'all might see something she has that you didn't think about. This is why we're doing this.
And the other
Can we
side,
ask while she shows?
Hmm?
Can we ask questions while she shows us?
Yes.
Why the chapstick?
because I don't like my lips to be dry.
And if you think about it, if you're in a situation where, let's say you're somewhere and you have to walk and you have to get somewhere, if it's bad, yeah, if it's hot, if it's anything, chapped lips can also lead to that, and your lips are cut. What if you get infection? Exactly. So yeah, I think we don't think that that's a big deal.
This is just some like covers that you put on your shoes just in case if it's raining. Because I went to work and my shoes were soaked by the time I got into the building with wet socks.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a little battery charger.
Mm-hmm. So your power bank, you got slip pullovers for your shoes in case you don't want to muddy up your carpeting at work and stuff like that. So that falls along the line of EDC. Yep, go ahead.
This is some more slip covers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sleeping bag, like a weather sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
Some matches, a compass,
Mm-hmm.
some water, poncho.
Okay, I got a question. With your compass, is that open already, or is it just in that place?
It's just in there, never open.
Okay, you might want to, because think about if you have a situation where it's difficult to open,
You're right.
you know, because we could chop down a tree with the way they put that plastic around some things trying to get into it.
And this is a topical land nav type of compass that you sit on the maps. And
Hold it up, sir.
yeah, and it has scales. And what I do like that she does have is that it's water and it's not magnetic.
And say why.
Let me get this.
I just want to see it. I couldn't see
You want
it.
to see it? Come get it.
I'm out.
How long y'all been married again?
Here you go.
Too long. 12 years.
So at the end of the day, the reason why we like water
Oh,
compasses versus magnetic, let's say, they always talk about the EMPs and things like that. It will screw up true north,
Oh, okay.
right? It'll keep spinning trying to find true north. Water compasses tend to work better. And the other thing is if you're having a loadout or you carrying something on your body and you have metal buttons, watches, rings, the magnetic compass will pick that up the closer it is to your body, and it will trick you on what's north. So that's why you see a lot of people that carry their compasses out and in front of them in case they have metal zippers or buttons or stuff like that. But yeah, go ahead.
This is just some surgery foam just for bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
More chapstick, some feminine hygiene, sanitary napkins, a little bar soap.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all.
Why is it good to have soap?
Because if you need to wash out a wound,
Wash out a wound and what else?
Wash your
wash your
hands.
ass.
Yep. There you go.
That's right. On the fin.
And a lot of this stuff I got from estate sales,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe $1 or $2. So
Now that's interesting.
yeah,
That's interesting.
and it's I've had this stuff for years, but a lot of it I just went to the estate sale and got it. So that's that.
What is the plan for?
I just left it on there. It's not for anything. But yeah, it was in my car and I just stuck it. I'm like, you never know.
You gotta think about a broken clamp and make yourself a makeshift shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or
Yeah.
even like you need to clamp together if you make like a
Oh,
bag.
hold on. I want to see something. Yeah. I'm not a huge advocate of these.
Oh, the Mylar.
These are gimmicky. This is why I say when you get stuff like this, field test it and see if it's actually going to keep you warm. What I do like about them is, is the reflective material in it.
Because if you reflect the sunlight when it's hot outside, you
Right.
lose the heat.
Right. They're not very durable. They claim, but in emergency situations, they'll work out, to a degree. But at the end of the day, what I try and get people to understand is They tear very easily. When they got field tested and stuff like that, they make better brands of these that you can get that are stronger, more durable, and like some ponchos are dual purpose where you can get the poncho and you can turn it inside out and you'll have this because this also keeps heat in. It's better than nothing,
Right.
but this is something that you know that you might get maybe one
One
or
use.
2 uses out of it, right? So you don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
All right, go
Don't
ahead.
make that be your only, I guess.
Yeah, don't let that be your only. Try and think in things of 2s and 3s. Where these little ants come from? Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a scarf.
Good idea.
This is a little camping stove.
Good
to
idea.
cook something. And this is like a little water straw.
Yep. Awesome.
This is a hat.
Yep.
Some gloves. Some oodles and noodles and snacks.
Mhm.
A white.
Mhm.
Couple pair of socks. A washcloth. With
Good idea. These are very good. In trying to get home, we want to have these, especially if you have a roadside problem. You walk in at night, you want to make sure that people see you. We've been on the road many times, and people be walking on the side of the road wearing all black like me, and you don't see them.
And they don't do that thing where you walk on the opposite side. They walk with the traffic. So you like, I
Never
never understood.
Right.
You
Go
should
ahead.
the traffic
That's
should
what
be
I'm
looking.
saying.
You should be
Looking at the traffic.
It's
Yeah.
like
You
a
should
little
never
light
have
that you
traffic
can
in your back.
wear.
I can look at the traffic and I see you just
Like
I
a
can
little
jump out the way.
flashlight thing.
But
Okay.
if I'm not, and you got all that.
Hold on,
black-
Bree. Let me finish. Give us a second.
It's like a little flashlight.
Okay.
thing.
Headlamps, flashlights, spare batteries. Always keep those.
So I have like 2 of those. An extra pair of pants, t-shirt, underwear,
Smart.
and just some more wipes. This is a little, like a little camp folding stove,
Mm-hmm. Can't fold and stove. Yep.
umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
underwear, flashlight, and some matches, and a little multi-tool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
All right.
Right.
Now you can pack it.
Okay.
Yeah. She's hit a lot of good points. So what I don't see in a lot of bags a lot of times is a change of clothes. What if your socks get wet? What if your pants get torn? You know, you're gonna need fresh underwear sometimes. You're gonna need these things a lot of times when you're trying to get home. Comfortable shoes. You're gonna keep comfortable walking shoes and you know, some people get
And I
out and
keep an extra pair of shoes in the truck.
yeah, you want to keep these, but we're talking about get home bags right now. So that's the so.
I keep rope in my truck,
Mm.
and that's the truck that I drive every day.
Mhm.
Like I keep extra water, keep some rope. I got a toolbox in there
Right.
because I figure that's the one that I'm gonna be in. So I can't put everything in my bag. So.
She's covered a lot of the basics on get home. The thing we want to think about
And I
is
got some matches in there too and a lighter.
the rule of 3s, right? Where's mine? Because I had other notes. And one thing she didn't have, and I'll show you these, is a way to protect your electronics. Faraday. This can hold a phone or your car keys. These are bigger for your electronic devices and things like that, laptops. You always want to have something. And another thing I didn't see was emergency communication. You know, radios, handheld radios, because if it was a weather incident, you're going to need to know. Listen to me. Lost your pen?
Did you pack it?
Oh, yeah,
No,
maybe
that's
so.
gonna be the worst if you pack it.
Yeah, if it's an emergency incident where it's a weather-related situation and you got to leave your vehicle, you still want to stay in tune with, are they shutting down roads? Is the way that I'm walking to going to be a situation where I'm walking into the storm and whether I'm walking away from the storm? Is there rushing water coming to me? Are there roads blocked off? Has there been a street cave in? Because a lot of times we just assume, well, yeah, I'm just going this way and I should be good, and it's not always that case. So you got to be prepared to pivot. You got to have the right footwear. You're gonna have to have the right clothing in case of those scenarios. You know, I always say think about things like that with your bug out bags. And of course, with your bug out bags, you're gonna already have your everyday carry stuff. So if you're carrying your firearm on you, if you're carrying your knife on you, you know, you're carrying a battery backup, because we can't always assume that cell phones are gonna work, right? There's something else I didn't see, which is having a map, a street map of your local area and or areas in the vicinity. So you want to have street maps and highway maps in case, again, we don't never know where we're going to break down. We can break down here, we can break down there. Now, right now, we can call emergency services right now. And even like we were saying earlier before you guys came, we've called emergency services and they never got to us. We had to figure it out. We called and we called two different services and nobody got to us. The help of a stranger helped us. You see what I'm saying? So think about things like that. So you definitely want to have these. This is a real good brand. Right? This is a real good brand. You could buy these in different kits, and I think I did a video on this. If y'all follow me on which is our collectively sustainable partnership, is Big and All Outdoors on YouTube. I do a lot of this stuff on YouTube, Big and All Outdoors. All right. So we definitely want these in these, right? To protect any electronics that you may have if you're worried about something like that. Now, the other thing that we also want to consider in these situations, she did have a you did have a small emergency kit, boo-boo kit, right?
I put it in my bug out bag. I don't put it in that bag.
Yeah, keep one. Always keep one in your get home bag.
What?
Emergency
First aid.
First aid kit. Yeah.
You know the ones that we have every time we go out. Probably the smaller ones.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to go off our checklist. So we change your clothes, right? She had an idea for shelter. What if most times the average rule is if you're 15 to 25 miles away from home, that is almost an overnight hike trying to make it home. So when we're hiking, the other thing we have to consider is the weight of our bags. Can we walk with them that long? You know, we can pack all that stuff in them, but once you put it on your bag and you get maybe 5 blocks, 6 blocks, a quarter mile, and you go, whew. So now what we want to do is look into condensing some things and really going in our bags and start looking at what we really need, right? So the things that we know we're going to really need are the basics: shelter, right? Protection, right? Change of clothes, comfortable clothes. Medical. Your medical can cross from your electrolytes. You got a question?
Take this last question. We got a Father's Day kit that has the
Or
hand
what
soap.
kind of kid? I'm sorry.
The Father's Day kit.
Uh-huh.
Every Father's Day, everyone comes out with a kit. And in that kit has a saw,
A string saw.
a string saw.
A mono
We,
saw.
me and my best friend were just literally talking about those today and how they fail on people. They're good for twigs. They're actually good for what they're speaking of is the little wire saws with the little rings on them, and you get them, and they say, oh, they're good for chopping wood. No, they're good for small, probably 1 inch, ½ inch twigs, and that's just good for you to cut when you're trying to start a fire. That's all they're really good for. Anything that's much bigger than that, they're gonna wear down. The rings are gonna pull apart on you, and they're gonna fall apart. And people get so frustrated with them. Now, do they make better brands of them? Absolutely. They make better brands of them, but again, you get what you pay for. You gotta be, it's always buyer beware and what you get in the ready-made kits. Because think about it. Just think about it this way: you get a ready-made kit. You say, "Oh, this ready-made kit is only $35, or it's only $45, right?" And they're telling you to put your life on $35 or $45 of stuff that they put in there. So think about it. If the kit was only $35, $45, what do you think the stuff is worth that's actually inside of it?
$4 or $5.
If that much. So, and you had guys field test these things. We went out and used them in the woods. The blades fold backwards. The saws come apart. The flashlights half work. This is why I say you got to be careful of the things that you catch on YouTube and all these kits and all of this marketing stuff that they throw at you, because what they rely on is our fear and our panic and things that happen in the world, and that's when you see all of that stuff start to pop up. Oh, get this, get that. We have this, and then think about it, with certain services that you sign up for, they'll give it away. If it's really worth anything, why are they giving it away? You got to kind of think along those lines when you're dealing with these ready-made kits. They look pretty. They may work. Let's say, and I'm gonna give them grace. Let's say you get caught out in the woods, or you're trying to make it somewhere and you have to stop in a wooded area or something like that, and you got to survive for the night. That stuff may carry you 1 or 2 nights before it starts failing on. The little saws that they give you, the little handheld saws, all the little stuff that they give you in there, I've used them, and they work for maybe a day or two, and then they fail. They just fail because they're not made with good steel. They're not made with good handles. They're not full tang. There's just so many things that you have to think about. So we got to get back to our basics. We want shelter. We want water. We want food. We want a way to protect ourselves. We need a change of clothes. We need first aid, right? Those are the main things. And if you're doing something, and we want to make sure that our bare basics are in that bag that we can carry. When you carry a lot of extra stuff that you possibly don't need, they've ran scenarios where guys have had loadouts. They take their loadouts, and while they're hiking, they did one here in Atlanta where they did a situation where they left Hartsfield Jackson and had to make it 25 miles somewhere, right? They did a whole thing about it. They did it. And guys were stopping on the side of the road. They had bloody blisters on their feet. So that's another thing. Do you have something to take? If these dogs are messed up, you can't walk. If you can't walk, you can't gain ground. You can't go anywhere. So you want to have antibiotic ointments. You want to have fungus stuff. You want to have changes of socks. You want to have something to keep your feet taken care of all the time, because I'm telling you, when your feet give out, you can't make it. You can't. Huh?
Keep compression socks.
Right on. Compression socks are good. They make athletic socks that give you arch support, heel, and help if you got plantar fasciitis, things like that. So there are a lot of different things that you can use, but you want to have those things and really think about on your get home bag, what is it that I'm really going to need, that I'm willing to walk with to get me from point A to point B. And if I got to stop somewhere, emergency cash, $100 pretty much in small bills, singles, fives. You don't really want anything bigger than that, because if you run into a situation where you got to feed a machine or something, and all you guys are 10 or 20, you're like, can't get my change. Some people be like, I ain't got no change. They'll tell you that in an emergency situation. Oh, I'll do this for you. Okay, well, I'll give you 20. Well, I'll do it for you for 10. All I got is 20. I ain't got no change. I'll do it for you. You'd be like, I can't give you my 20. Now you're $10 short on something else you could have used it, right? Keep singles. Think about things like that. Keep pocket change. keep quarters, keep nickels, keep dimes, because you can feed those in the machines, right? So you want to keep a small pouch of those types of things. Have 3 ways to start a fire, not just one way. Matches, lighter. You can get rechargeable lighters now, right? You know what I'm saying? That you can charge, huh?
We have arc lighters.
Yep, that's the one.
We have arc lighters, flints, and that's it.
Perfect. Keep 3 ways to start fire. Keep 3 ways to even purify water. Tablets, life straws, and you can have charcoal filters, bandanas. You want to have stuff like that because again, statistics show that the most time when people get stuck somewhere, and let's say the grid goes down, and we were just talking about Atlanta traffic, and y'all trying to get here. Imagine being stuck on the highway or the expressway in a river of cars. It's 90 something degrees or it's 20 below, and what? And you still got to make it home. And they telling you, hey, the whole grid's down, nothing's working. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. Emergencies are not gonna be able to get to you right now. They're handling other situations. Now you're gonna need that map. You're gonna need them comfortable shoes. And now you have to get in your mind. The first thing with all of this is mental. Getting ourselves together mentally to prepare, like, oh my God, I gotta leave my car. I gotta take whatever I can put on my back, and I gotta make it home. And chances are it's gonna take me 2 days to get home. Right? My cell phone's not working. I got an emergency radio, so at least I can stay on top of what's happening, whether it be a crank. Yep, good hand crank radio. So you can stay on top of what's going on. And I like citizen band radios, walkie-talkies, CVs, handheld CVs, things like that. 2-way radio communication, because you don't always have to depend on satellite. We're dealing with point to point, and as you're walking, you can say, Mayday, or you can say, hey, is anybody out there? I'm on highway, whatever, blah blah blah. Is there anything happening above? I'm hoofing it. I'm trying to make it. Yada yada yada. Family people, because a lot of people they going to buy these rapid radios and all that, and they're like, oh, rapid radio, I could tweet and get somebody. Yeah, but you're dependent on the satellite. We just had one that just fell in what state, and they thought it was a meteor. The whole satellite just fell down, and they put it on the truck and drove it up. They thought, oh, it was a meteorite. No, it was a sat that fell out the sky. Right? So there are different things that we want to consider when we're doing these things, right? So think about that. And any questions on the get home bags? You good?
Should a sleeping bag, like we have the roll sleeping bag?
If you can get a good roll up, yeah.
And
get a good, and yeah, you can get a hammock.
Traveling hammock.
You can get a traveling hammock, and you can also have a emergency 1-person tent or 2-person tent. Come a little thing, no bigger than that, right? And you can pull it out, stake it, lift it, and that'll give you somewhere to sleep. And in your travels, always keep in mind, if you're gonna have to stop off-road, you find you a nice area and you don't stay on the edge of the road, right? You want to get maybe 50 yards, 20 yards into, and then you also got to be careful about where you stop on people's property. So, sorry guys.
What about the bandsaw? A bandsaw.
A bandsaw? Yeah. If you want to carry it.
A bandsaw is the one that has like the where you can grip it with both hands or one hand, and it has the saw blades at the end. So I think about in the case scenario, if I need to cut off some branches and then set up a perimeter shelter.
Mm-hmm.
So sticks, clear out the ground, sticks, set it up with heavy rope, have sticks laying up across it, and then have leaves and stuff to cover the holes in the shelter to kind of mimic to kind of like camouflage themselves.
Yeah, you could do that.
And a shovel. Yeah, that's what she said. A foldable
Yeah,
shovel.
but remember, the more you carry, the, the more you have, the more you have to carry. They're good to have. They're good to have compact shovels. I've seen kits where people had compact shovels, compasses, all of these things. The more you have, the more you carry. And I've seen people that have taken them out in the field when they buy these kits. They start digging, and the thing folds over on it, just snaps, and they be like, "Wow!" And then they end up tossing it. You know, I would say if you want to get those kind of shovels, go to an army surplus store
Get the army
and get the ones that the military had. Right? They're not pretty. They're going to be green, or they're going to be basic gray or something like that. But what you're going to know is once you stab them in the ground, you got a chair to sit on. Try and sit on some of those they give you right now, because they got all these gimmicky ones that's got the little blades in them, the fire starter, the nightstick, and yeah, you need that, and those things break because one, they're not full tank. Can they work for a little while? Yes. I'm not saying nothing. Something is better than nothing at all. But at the end of the day, if you're going to invest your money and you're going to invest your energy, you got to always ask yourself, when you buy something, can I depend on it? Can I bet my life on this will work for me? That's what you always ask. Even people cheap out even with first aid kits. They'll go, "Oh, Walgreens got this little kit here for, $19.99," and then they'll get that. That's a good boo-boo kit. I've had those, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm not saying I'm holier than thou. What I'm saying, I'm talking to you all from experience. So you get these, and then the band-aids don't stick, popping off, sliding off. You be like, what the hell? And then you say to yourself, people that are making these emergency kits don't understand that people lives are dependent on this, and they're selling me garbage.
Capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
And it also depends on where it's being shipped from, right?
How long do these supply?
Right. So you have to think about these things. So you have to take, or we have to take responsibility for our own safety and really look at, this is worth me spending money on. This ain't worth me spending money on. Cheaper is not always better. But you can improvise. If you want to keep clean rags, you sanitize you some rags, cut them up into shreds, put them in a Ziploc bag and close them up, and now you have some type of temporary bandage or gauze, right? Keep you alcohol. You can keep a lot of different things that you could do manually. So, is that your loadout?
Huh?
Is that your
No,
loadout?
that's our purse.
Oh, okay. So those are the things. Did y'all said y'all didn't bring one, though, right? So those are things that you want to think about. So any questions? So we're gonna go over again, and these are the other things I want y'all to remember that we deal with rules of three, right? Do y'all know what the rules of three are?
3, 2, 3.
One is not. Okay. The rules of three. The rules of three that I'm speaking of, and yes, they're right. It's better to have. Say it again. One is what? None. Two is one, and three is better, right? So, but the rules of threes that I'm talking about is, and keep these in mind even when you're packing your bags and stuff like that, right? Is the average person can live 3 minutes without air, unless they're in good shape. They might be able to go 4, right? You got the average person can probably live about 3 minutes in extreme conditions. That's why I say, would you bet your life on it? So again, 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes in extreme conditions. And what they mean, weather events, hypothermia, it's too cold, the water's cold, it gets cold at night. Let's say y'all, and most people die in the woods because two things: they panic and hypothermia. They again, it starts here. They may have all the things, and there have been park rangers and people like that have found people hiking, and they would have everything in the bag. They'd be like, how did they die? How did they freaking die? You know, they went out, they had the stuff, but they didn't practice with it. They panicked. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I got all this stuff and I don't know what to do with it. And I think when people buy it, they think the stuff is magically going to come out the bag and start doing stuff for them like a transformer or a robot. Oh, I'll map you out. You gotta practice with it. Just like when I tell people, if you buy a firearm and you let it sit in the drawer for a year, 2 years, you can't tell me you're proficient with it. You're not practicing with it. I tell everybody, practice at least twice a month, right? Go out with your stuff, field test it, put it through some stuff. Don't be like, I just bought this. I really don't want to scratch it up. I don't want to break it. Field test it, because you're going to be in a situation where that land and the things that's happening around you is going to be very unforgiving. And at that time, are you going to be worried about if you scratched it? Are you going to be worried about if it, you know what I mean? If it got a few dents on it? You want to know that when you dig in that dirt, my shovel is not going to break. You want to know if you're chopping on some wood, that part of it ain't going to fly behind me and I can't use it again. You want to know that your matches work in the water. I tested mine the other day. I have wet matches and I was like, come out the water. I thought, okay, they work, right? Until they burn out. So think about things like that. You got 3 days that we could survive typically without food. So that means if you make it at home and let's say you forgot your snacks, you forgot the stuff in your go bag, you know, you like, man, go ahead.
I thought there was 3
3
days
days
without
without water. That's what you mean.
No, 3 days without water, 3 days without food. These are rules of threes. Yeah, rules of three. I'm going down the list right now because I had to write them down because I forget them sometimes. But this is it: 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes in extreme conditions, which we talked about, 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food.
That's
That's
what
why
I
I
thought
was
you
like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
3
thought
weeks,
that's
I'm
what.
like,
3 weeks
I
without
had
food.
to feed myself for like a couple weeks here.
Yeah, three weeks without food. But now, in that, keep in mind that varies on the conditions that you're in
And your physical health.
and your physical health. If you're diabetic, if you have hypertension, you know, if you have weak kidneys,
Nobody ever brings a plant identifier.
Right.
Nobody ever has a book
right?
on what medicinals are in your area. There's a book
Food.
or what food. No one has a plant identifier. You can have an atlas, but if you don't have a plant identifier, you don't know what to eat.
Right. If you have a plant identifier, good catch. If you have a plant identifier to identify different herbs and plants in the area, that is a good thing to have. Even with that, you know, people get frustrated with those because they'd be like, well, it looks like that. It kind of fits the description, but maybe it's not that.
And that's where you had to go out and field test and look at
Right,
it. And also have to
right,
have a
right,
guide because you
right.
can forage for certain things. You can last 3 days without water, but if you know how to chew like different plant material and everything, you get the moisture from that. That'll sustain you a little bit longer.
Exactly.
If you have a wound or something, there are certain things in nature that will help, like with the wound and everything, but you have to kind of practice with it and know what you're looking at.
Right.
Just like even with the makeshift bandage, you can actually use lichen from certain branches as a makeshift bandage.
Banana leaf.
Well, I mean, we don't really have a lot of banana leaves.
Yeah,
here,
but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you never know what you find when you cutting
pine
through
resin. 'Cause
pine resin.
we
Yeah,
got a ton of pine.
pine resin works good like honey.
And pine resin is also a good fire starter because it has accelerant in it. So if you ever come across a pine tree, get some of the resin and you can't start a fire, use that pine resin because it's an accelerant. You cut the bark and
Yeah.
let it. It's like with maple syrup. It's a tablet. It's a sap.
And if you pull, like sometimes when I'm trying to start fires back here, I'll find a pine tree that's really barked up, and I'll start pulling it back, and you'll see the crystals from it, right?
Also, birch is good.
Yeah, birch is good. Birch is a paper tree, so you peel off birch and dry
And
it
I only
up.
think about
It
in
burns really
places
well.
that you would see birds, around here that birds could pop
But
up.
you also gotta know your environment.
Thank you. She's about to say what I was just about to say. Exactly.
And
Yep.
for me, I don't have a compass because I've been taught how to navigate by stars first. How to navigate by at nighttime. If you can't see your compass, how to navigate by stars.
Mhm.
Know your time of season because stars do change depending on the season. And during like the daytime, how to navigate by the sun because you know how the sun rises, which gives you a general direction of where you are.
Mhm.
So it kind of gives you a general direction, and also driving around and know what's around you. It kind of mentally map because I drive around and I map mentally. Okay, this place, this street does this here, this street does this here, this interstate does here. There's a bunch of woods here. I can see that street on the other side. Mentally map where you
Purposely
are.
lost.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I know we're not mic'd up. What she was saying was just know your environment. Those of you all who are watching the video, know your environment. And that's another thing also when you're doing your get home situation. If you drive certain locations all the time, memorize landmarks. What's around there? Is there a grape vineyard? Is there this? Is there that? If you had to get snack. Try and memorize a lot of the areas that you travel all the time, main roads and back roads, so you can have an idea. Okay, well, if I have to shift this way or I have to pivot that way, I got to cross a stream this way, there's a small river that way, there's a school, there's a library, there's a convenience store. Because a lot of times when things first happen, you still have time where chaos hasn't hit everything, and you could go to a Quick Trip, you could go to a 7-Eleven, you could go to a Walgreens, possibly, and they may tell you at that point, I can only take cash. That's our lizards, but our little geckos, hopefully they're eating up these little bugs. But at the end of the day, those are the things that we want to look at. So
Always have 3 routes to get to your location.
exactly.
I know 6 because Dad always said 6 routes and always change them up.
Hmm.
But know at least 3 routes because if one place is shut down, how do you pivot to an alternate route? That's like prime example, Atlanta traffic when the interstate shut down. I know about 4 of the routes to get to where I need to get to depending on where I am.
Hmm.
I always know at least 3 different routes if the main route shuts down.
And that's a good thing. Like I said, back roads, front roads, main roads, frontages, things like that. You always want to try and remember as you're traveling out. Go ahead. You had something else? No, I'm talking to you. I thought you had your hand up.
I blanked out, so yeah.
Okay. We all going through that nowadays. All right. So mine, because most of the time I'm in this, so I have rope in this truck. I have chain in this truck. I have a way for fuel in this truck. You know what I'm saying? So I try and keep everything that we can in our gang boxes and things like that. If I had to, we got spare shoes in this truck. We got jackets in this truck. We got blankets in this truck, right? There's certain things that you always want to have. We have radio communication. We have all of these things if we have to hike out. And am I good sometime with unloading my bag and leaving some stuff? Absolutely. It is time. She and I just talked about this. It is time for us to go through our quarterly or annual, let's go through these bags and see what we want to keep. Let's see if any medications have expired. Has any first aid stuff, expired? Has anything dried out or went bad? Is my dry ration still good? Because they do get it expiration date 2026, 2030. All depends on when you bought them. Go ahead.
One thing about medicines that you that's not really known is that certain medications, even if there's an expiration date on the bottle, that's not the true expiration date, and there's a half-life to it as well.
That's true.
So, like for Tylenol, we get it in the store. It says it expires in 2027. Well, actually, it expires in 2030. I worked in the pharmacy, so they have one where they tell you that it expires within a year, but it actually takes like 5 years for it to really start to go down in half-life. So certain things can still work, but not as well as within those 5 years when you see like expiration date. So that's something to be aware of, be mindful with as well. And with antibiotics, or if it's like a liquid pack, sometimes you can rehydrate with like purified water. sometimes with your ointments, if it gets a little gunky, add a little bit of Vaseline just to kind of relubricate. So there's certain medications that yes, it says expires.
Mhm.
It's just they keep that for the public, whereas the actual expiration date is generally like 5 years from the time it's put on the shelf.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean it expires if it's bad. It just means the half life goes down, where it's still effective but not as effective.
Right, because when I learned from talking to my old physician was, we had kind of came up with that, and she was saying that the and if y'all didn't hear, we were talking about the effectiveness of medication and how long it lasts. So she was saying if it expired, let's say in 2027, and you still got another 5 years on it, you may have to take a little bit more of it, double it up, or something like that in order for it to be effective. So you don't it's the same way with canned goods. It's the recommended. It's
That's fine.
best buy date because of how they have to restock the stores and stuff like that. And a lot of people will throw out good canned goods. Now I have had canned goods that have made it past maybe a year or two expiration date, and I've ate it, and it kind of tastes like the can, but it's still good. I mean, you can still eat it, you can still live off of it. It may not taste great, but at this point, if all you're trying to do is get some calories in and make it the next day, you can kind of ignore that taste, right?
And you also have to, whenever you're in your survival, for me, learning how to trap, because I can not fish, but I can hunt and trap.
Mhm.
You have to kind of get past the mindset of, if you got to catch a squirrel to get some calories, you got to get past the mindset of, oh, but it's a squirrel's around it. Sometimes the things fall apart and you're trying to get somewhere, or you're trying to get outside of somewhere. You got to put yourself in the mindset of, I got to do what's needed for me to survive.
Mhm.
So thinking about, well, that raccoon, yeah, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to be dinner.
Raccoon is dinner. Yep.
And knowing how to dress or whatever you catch or whatever you hunt. Because with certain things, you got to cut certain things out, and it's good. Like, I've had to eat, I mean, my family's eaten raccoon before, and they're sitting there, they had to eat it. They've eaten turtle, they've eaten squirrel, rabbit.
Yeah. Oh.
How do you feel about a fallout map?
A fallout what?
A fallout map. So there's like fallout shelters
Mm-hmm.
that exist inside and outside the city.
Right. They have some maps for them where if it's a nuclear situation, certain post offices, courthouses, jails, things like that. They in libraries even have fallout shelters underneath them. So if you can map your way to those areas, or at least create a PDF or something that you could keep on your phone, or if you can't find something physical, sometimes you could Google it and you could screenshot that and put it somewhere, or put the coordinates somewhere to get to it. Just that's again coming back to knowing what's within your vicinity that you can get to. And a lot of times emergency radio will tell you, sometimes they'll tell you shelter in place or what have you. Everybody and their mama at that time assume when chaos is, they're gonna be trying to hit the grocery stores. And the thing that amazes me, in the line of chaos, they're running out with TVs. They're running out with
That's
Like, you ain't got no electricity.
right. You don't have you running out building with TVs and and PlayStations and everything, and you're not trying to take care of yourself.
It's usually grocery stores, gas stations, electronic stores.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just like, what about the hardware stores? Nobody really hits up the hardware
Mm-mm.
stores.
Hardware stores,
They do hit
warehouses.
the pharmacies.
Oh, yeah,
You
they
gotta
do.
remember
You
they
want
got-
hit the warehouses, hit the place. If you're gonna do something like that, hit the places
Go to Amazon.
that yeah. You want to hit the places that are not physically available to every, because most people are not going to think, ooh, I need to hit the place that stocks the place I'm going to hit. That's going to be the last thing people think about. Everybody going, and their mama going to be running through Walmart, fighting each other, pushing stuff on the shelves, bursting through the doors.
And I'm thinking about Sam's. I can border myself up. There's things that I can do to shelter in place if I need to, build barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Lowe's, Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
weird as it sounds, for me, it's like I can build a barrier because there's wood here, there's tools here, there's backup batteries there, there's generators there, there's things there, there's knives, shovels, pickaxes, pitchforks. It's defensive.
Weapons and things you talking about. Go ahead.
Do either of you have a lock picking set?
Yes, I carry 3.
So, did you get, like, I bought us 2 of them, and it came with a lock. So
Can you speak up a little because that yeah, get it out, girl. Come on.
we bought a lock picking set that
Mm.
came with a lock that's clear enough for you to learn how to pick the lock.
Mhm.
And then a set of keys, like general keys
Mhm.
for cars that are metal that don't have components that would be fried by
Mhm.
EMP. But like with a lot of electric locks, if an EMP goes down, how do you? It's hard to bypass,
Mhm.
right? Because it goes into lockdown mode.
Mhm.
And I don't think a lot of people think I need a lock picking set,
Mhm.
right?
Lock picks, crowbars, pry bars. I carry this one. This is one of my favorite ones I carry. It's kind of a all-in-one.
I need that.
All-in-one. Hammer, pry bar, hatchet. Right? This stays with me all the time. Nail prier. So I've used this. I pry with it. That's why it's all scuffed up and all of that. I keep it sharpened.
Can you throw it?
Yeah. If you good, you can throw it. But
That
I
was
mean,
my whole thing. Is that I need to know if I can throw it too.
yeah. So the other thing that I didn't see that I would like y'all to carry a lot too,
Trash bags.
trash bags. The reason why, say you are hoofing it, and you don't have, and your bag is not water resistant, you can put your bag in that, or you can take the things that you have in your bag, stuff it in here, and then set it in your bag, and this will keep your stuff dry, right? So keep in mind, keep these, and you can use them for shelter. You can use them for a mattress if you somewhere and you want to stuff them with a bunch of leaves, so you can lay on something. It's a scary thought. It scares me. You know, it's a scary thought to be out, but yeah, trash bags is something that you guys want to keep.
The thick ones.
The thick ones, yeah,
Contractor
the
bags.
contractor bags. Don't get the little lightweight ones. Don't get the little Dollar Tree bags. You want good old Home Depot, Lowe's contractor bags, right? Real tough that you would use to put pieces of lumber in, nails, stuff like that. You want these. They're good, and they're also good to collect water with, right? You can collect water. You can do a lot with these. If you're cold and you don't have a poncho, these will heat you up real fast. Ask any fat dude in the health club that's trying to lose weight, and you'll see them put one of these on, and sweat be dripping all over. It'll keep you warm when it gets cold, and it'll help you against hypothermia, right? So these serve a lot of purposes. Definitely get them, right? Now let's move into our bug out bags. We talked about get home bags. Our bug out bags. Now I have a big one here. Now in my everyday carry, before I get done with that, I keep Israeli bandages. I keep multiple first aid. The reason why I keep multiple first aid kits is because I'm a firearms instructor. And people do peopleish stuff. Right?
That slide,
Right.
that slide on the handgun. I was doing that once where it cut me. It's like, this is not hammer. I'm using hammer, not slide.
Right. So people do peopleish stuff. Slides come back, cut their hand because they're not gripping the weapon right. You know, hot brass tumbles on you sometimes, especially if you're out in the field, you know. So that's why I always tell people, when you'll learn too, I'm going to have that in your email. When you take the firearm course, you want to have a bibbed hat, no open-toe shoes, no crop tops, none of that.
And you'd be amazed how many people come dressed like that.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Oh yeah,
We
I'm
saw
sure.
them.
We go to the gun range. You can't have a fire weapon if you ain't going to a range.
I have seen
Or
a
going
guy.
out to your
I have seen a guy with a suppressor. Didn't screw it on all the way on his rifle. Fired it. Rolled off. Did not wait for us to call cold range.
Mhm.
Started going for us like, man, I'm here with a rifle, and you just started walking down the range. You never know. I could have had a straight shot with that one.
He should have got kicked out.
He did.
Yeah.
We got bands.
Because usually, depending on the ranges I'm at, I will when there's an instructor there, and I frequent like I have relationships with certain ranges. If they know I'm in there, they're gonna not worry about what's happening in that section because they're gonna say he's gonna see it, right? You know, and he's gonna throw them out, have them stop firing or whatever the case may be. We had one lady we were just a few weeks ago. She got a jam and she was flagging everybody.
No.
Yeah, they are.
No.
No, that was she had an
Oh no,
automatic.
I thought that was the okay. I'm thinking about
No,
that.
she had an automatic handgun and it jammed. Her slide jammed, right?
She just put it down.
No, she's tried in the stall. Then she came out of the stall.
She had somebody with her, so I'm assuming that they were supposed to be.
He walked off.
Oh yeah, right.
He walked off. He's supposed to be helping her, and he leaves it. So whatever. That's not what this is about.
Chopsticks.
Yeah.
Chopsticks. Everyone forgets chopsticks when you're with your gun jams.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone forgets disposable chopsticks to pop out if you drop your magazine and it won't pop. Chopstick will pop it out.
Yeah.
for you.
I have in my gear bag. I have all my gun tools with me constantly. Yep.
But let's get back to the hose.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes.
So going into this, and I'm gonna say this: your bug out bag does not have to be a backpack. It could be a duffel bag. Your bug out bag is, or it might be a couple of duffel bags, because you might have all of these things above. Again, always think about the rules of three that we just gave when you're packing your bug out bags and your get home bags. If you stay in those rules of three, food, water, shelter, safety, you see what I'm saying? And you stay in that mode, then you'll know how to pack your bags. Soap, toothpaste, things like that help you mentally. I get to wash my face. I get to brush my teeth. I don't feel like
Animal.
an animal, right? It's mental. That's why I say everything is mental. We have these, and I'm probably gonna eventually go duffel. And this is a 70 gallon bag, right?
We have one of those.
Right. So, and we keep a lot of gear in these. There's clothes in here. There,
Show you people.
yeah.
So a bug out bag, is it okay if it's heavier than your get home bag?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is it okay to have a heavier bug out bag than your get home bag?
Yes. If your bug out bag is going to be a little heavier because you're going to have more changes of clothes, right? Their couple, you married?
Yes.
Yeah. So you and your husband may have your own bags. Your children may have their own bags. There's got to be a bag for everybody. Got baby got to have diapers. Baby got to have formula. Baby got to have
Pets.
all of that stuff, right? Your dogs, your cats, people. If you're gonna take them with you. Some people in emergency, they just let them go. You're like, hey, see you. Some people will take their dogs with them, but at the end of the day, those are the things that you want to keep. So those bags are going to be heavier. The rule that everybody misses with these two is accessibility. How fast can I get to them? When it's time, think about it. If right now we're sitting here right now, and we start getting an emergency alert, nuclear bomb, airstrike, terrorist, whatever, infrastructure breaking down, how would we react right now? What would we do? What's the first thing you would do?
Oh, are you asking for an answer?
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
like,
Yes.
was this rhetorical?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
First
like,
thing, I will look around and assess my situation.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know where am I currently,
Mm-hmm.
what is my resources around,
Mm-hmm.
and what's happening around.
Mhm.
So if I see like other people that got the notification they're panicking, I can't panic
Mm-hmm.
because I need to know what is my environment, what resources I have available, and how quickly can I get to my bag, and what do I need first. So if I need to get to my bag, the first thing I need to look at is if I'm injured, I need to take care of that first.
Mm-hmm.
We're sheltering in place.
Or
Like, you're gonna love us for after at the end of the day because we're sheltering in place.
Mm-hmm.
Nuclear, we're all going to seal any, turn off any air conditioning, seal any vents. We're going to decontaminate, and then if we have our bags, we're going to change clothes and make sure we go into a sealed room for at least 12 hours, so that we are not immediate fallout.
That's your nuclear.
But your bug out is just if you can't shelter yourself.
Right. Your bug out is when people we're taught in farm fresh, and it's a great thing to grow. We're taught to grow. We're taught to work with community, which is what we're doing right now, which is a good thing. You have community. You have like-minded people. You have people that know things and we bounce ideas. Nobody's a perfect whatever. We bounce ideas off of each other, and then Lawrence has this thing where where they have the conflict resolution situation where we may not always agree, but what is going to be our happy medium to make everybody happy in a situation? The best we can, and that is just a mutual respect of opinions and ideas. And a lot of people don't have that. You have leaders that I know everything, you can't tell me nothing, and that fool will walk into a hole. Right? And then you have those that are very open, to certain things. So those are things that is good about the community and the things that we need to focus on. The other thing is we don't talk enough about eminent domain. We don't talk enough about when the trouble comes knocking at your door and they say, I want your property and I don't care. They see you got a greenhouse. They see you got a garden. They see all of these things and they want to take it. How are we preparing for that? What do we have in reserve? Because some things, just like with plants, when we grow in plants, we have what we call, when we plant it, right? We have sacrificial plants, don't we?
yeah.
Right? Certain money, goods, a bag, whatever might be sacrificial. And you might say, there's some stuff in there I like, but okay, I got backups. And I hid them here. And I put them there. So think about that, guys, when y'all doing stuff. Have a backup plan in case somebody tries to take what you have. You don't want to put... That's why I always laugh at gun collectors. Gun collectors will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on guns. You can't take them all with you. You can lock down your home the best you can. You can have them in the safe. You can stand there and say, I'll take this, this, and this, and this much ammo. How much ammo can you really carry? Right?
But, guns outnumber you.
Right. What happens when bullets run out? Can you crossbow? Right? Can you compound bow? Can you throw a hatchet? Can you throw a knife? What other things do you have in your bag and things when the bullets run out? What do you do? Because America's about that John Wayne. I got my guns, I got my bullets, and God dog it, if you come, I'm going to do this to you until they run out.
And then your bullets run out, and I have like throwing knives and throwing axes.
Right. Because people know how to get you to waste your ammo.
Especially if you're not prepared in that mindset.
Right.
Shoot at any lure you get.
Yep. People know how to get you to waste your ammo and all of those types of things. And as a ex-officer and all of that, I believed in that one shot, one kill the best I can. I'm not, unless there's a situation where I have to lay down some kind of cover fire for somebody, I got to sacrifice some rounds for that, okay. But otherwise, I'm not going to do that. So when you're packing your bags and things like that, people have truck guns and rifles in their vehicles and safes and all these things. I tell people, same way with these bags where you have multiple things, get firearms that if you had to play scavenger, get something that works with everything, that is universal with parts. Everybody goes out and buy these beautiful specialty guns, and if something breaks down, you can't get a part. What are your chances? You're going to run into more people that's going to have Smith & Wessons and Glocks, shotguns, and basic ARs more than you are anything. why not stock up on things like that versus trying to buy the pretty gun that costs you $1,000, $2,000?
They really do that?
Huh?
Yeah.
So,
Like, I can't find a 50 millimeter Desert Eagle round.
Mm.
But
Of
I
course
can
you
find
can. It's,
Right.
It's probably buried right here because they have very. Like
you
they do
want
like
you
if
want
growing
stuff
in a
that's
garden or something.
interchangeable where you can
the
use
ammo for
different
Desert
types of
Eagle.
Right, no,
magazines,
I'm just
all of
saying,
that. But we're
think
going to also go
process
over that in
like
that course.
But I'm like 9 millimeter. I can find it all
All
day
in
and
the-
night.
So, if the cocks are down, at least their shotgun round should fit your shotgun round, and their 9 millimeter should fit your 9 millimeter. Because if they go down, at least they have an armory and some ammo. If you go into a cop car that's been abandoned,
Yeah.
you at least you have a 50-50
Even- yep.
chance.
If it's not abandoned, if they got took down in front of you,
Exactly.
I'm about to scavenge the body.
Right.
About to loot.
I'm an advocate too of not carrying a lot of canned goods if you can help it.
Yeah.
Carry you because you can always scoop up water from somewhere and purify it, boil it. So I'm a huge advocate on getting dry foods, freeze dried stuff. That you could all you gotta do is just add water to it. Protein bars and things like that don't carry a lot of high sugar and sodium. Because when you take in a lot of sodium, what happens?
You dry out.
You get thirsty, don't you? You eat something real sweet, you be like, man, I need some water. I need something to rinse this down. So you want things that's very neutral in that way, because all you want is calories to get you from point A to point B and to keep you alive, to get you home to your family or to get you to your destination, right? So when you're packing these Bugout bags, don't overload. People will have cases of canned goods, and they'll carry them out. Just the storm that just happened, and people all of those preppers and everything that happened, was that in Carolina
last year.
the big storm, and
Carolina and Tennessee.
yeah, and all of their canned goods and bins were floating for somebody else to get it, which, hey, it's a blessing because somebody got to eat, so you gotta consider things like that. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So carry more dry goods, more water, and more ways to purify water. 3 ways to purify, because water is important. Water is life. You can, like she said, you can always snare, you can always hunt, you can always this. You want warm clothes, dress, and adjust the thing that we didn't cover on your get home bags is the clothing and everything that you keep in your get home bags. You want to make sure that it's for the season.
Nobody mentioned sunblock.
Right. Well, usually, reason why I didn't mention sunblock is because sunblock typically is something that we keep in our first aid kit. It's just like,
Yeah, but that's true.
But
Yeah.
not everybody really thinks about
Mhm.
being sunblock because you can still get sunburned. I'm black and I still got sunburned in the roof. Wasn't bad, but you still can get sunburned.
oh yeah, I've trust.
Yeah.
Trust, I've got sunburn on my arms many times.
And that
and-
slows you down. And sunburn also, when your skin flushes off, it exposes your skin to the elements, which could be a point of infection or loss of heat, your
Mhm.
body heat.
Yeah, because it will scab up on you really bad. So those are things that we want to keep in mind. We're gonna be going through. I'll show you what I have in this one, but this loadout is absolutely going to change. This is just a light straw.
Well, back to what you were saying, you asked me what was the first thing you would do for you to fall apart.
Right.
What would you do first thing?
What I would do,
Yes.
first thing is the same thing that you do. I would assess the situation. I would reach out to whoever I can through shortwave radio, whatever, like to Lawrence or my immediate community, and see what they're getting, or wait on them to hit me, because I am the communications person of our group, right? So those are the first things I would do. I would then monitor what's happening in the area. I might even venture out a little bit. I don't know if I would drive or go on foot or have a bike. Some people buy e-bikes, some people just buy regular bikes. And bikes, you can get through a situation a lot faster than a car. Hop on a bike, ride around, just see what people are doing, how they're acting, gauge attitudes, and things like that. You got I'm already going to have a mental inventory of what we have. I know what our water is. I know what our food situation is. I know what our safety situation is. Right now, I'm trying to get a gauge on people because people are the ones that screw up everything. Because you're going to have those that are unprepared, and those are the first ones that's going to start looting. Then you're going to have the ones that are prepared, and when they run out, then they're going to start going after people that are prepared. Right? So, and then you're just going to have those that are clueless, and they're just going to be coming along. They're going to be in a panic mode, and I just want to take what you got, or can you give me this, and who are you to have that, and you should share. Who are you to have all of this, and I don't have anything? You should share. And you're going to have to deal with people like
They'll
that.
try to
Guilt you into it.
It's like,
My baby, my dog, my husband's sick, you might have things to share. Like I said, you can have sacrificial things.
or no conscience.
Right. Or no conscience. Right. You can be cold-blooded. It is totally up to you. What was that scene that we saw when my boy said, he said, hey, we were friends and we worked together. We did it. He said, that was then. This is now. That scene in that movie was classic. You know.
What movie was that?
The one with
The one-
I was gonna say Denzel. That's not what it
No.
is.
The one that
with that Obama.
not Civil War. The other one.
God.
God, I can't even think of it now. But
Was it?
Huh?
Olympus' father?
This is.
it was a survival movie. What happened was, in the movie, basically,
Kevin Bacon was the person you're talking about.
yeah. What happened in the movie was a certain area, or a certain state, or a few states got hit with a communication shutdown. Everything just stopped. Right? They didn't have. This is what I mean by communications, and people panicking. They didn't have any access to what was happening in neighboring states in the rest of the country because they couldn't get nothing on TV. They couldn't get nothing on the radio.
Leave the world behind.
They couldn't get any of that information. And then people started making assumptions. Right? And there was some type of nuclear event, you know, where one of the guy's sons had got sick, you know, got a little radiation poison, and he needed tablets, iodine tablets, right?
His teeth start falling out.
Right. So his teeth start falling out. So they knew, hey, Jim over there he's always been prepping. He's always been ready. I'm going to go over here because I know he's going to have antibiotics. He's going to have all that. But again, you got to think, Jim is trying to take care of him and his family. And again, they were offering money and all of that, and they had to come up with some money. He's like, look, he said, my debit card don't work. My bank card's not working. I need help. And he's like, I'll sell you this many pills. So man had to end up rationing out hundreds of dollars just for a handful of pills. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these are the things that we want to look at, right, and think about. Make a mental assessment of what you have already. Your biggest thing is, what are people doing? Then you start getting you start getting into lockdown mode. I'm locking my house down. I'm boarding up. I'm setting my security systems. I'm setting anything that's going to alert me of anything that's trying to take what's mine. I'm also going to have a getaway plan. I'm going to have my bags present. I'm going to have this kind of weapon present. I know I can't carry all of this ammo, but I'm going to take this much and whatever else I have to defend myself in case I lose my fortress, because it can happen. If enough well-trained people, or even half-trained people, that come out in numbers, they can absolutely overtake you, and you got to be prepared for that. And if they do, you can say, okay, sorry, you can have it. I'm out of here. Or you duck out, you find another way out of your home or whatever, where they don't see you.
Because if they see you, they're
and
gonna take what you got.
and you just got to be gone, because then you have people that take people's lives just for the fun of it, right? So that's why I always tell people, you know, in the midst of growing, in the midst of planting, in the midst of all of these things, we want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves, we're protecting our family, and we have the things that we need in case of emergency. It's going to be shocking. As prepared as I am, if me and my wife is out and this happened, it's going to be that old crap moment. And now we have to even woo-saw and say, okay, what do we have in our vehicle? Is this a thing? Do we wait it out? Or do we start hoofing? Right? Yes, I got to leave my shiny red truck, my shiny silver truck, my Cadillac, my Bentley, my whatever. Again, it's insurable. And if the world is going kaput like that, you're going to have your choice of cars. Why worry about it? So think about things like that. So those are the things you gotta say, man. And as you driving, as you walking, as you going through the grocery store, run them what ifs. What if it happened while you're in the grocery store? Things happen with us overnight. I mean, we could be sleeping in our bed and get up. I mean, one time I was sleeping in our bed, and all of a sudden, me and her sleep. All of a sudden, we heard I was like, shit. My phone flashing red, emergency alert. My heart.
Oh, when they had the explosion.
Yeah.
At whatever, where was that?
In Conyers?
Yes. It was they
Or was
was
it Coven? It was.
yeah. When you know they were telling everybody, hey, don't go outside and all of that, you know.
And we have chemical masks that you need to keep with you. We don't chemical mask you need to keep with you, or at least a good charcoal filtered mask. Chemical mask and a good charcoal filter mask, and those are the ones that usually come with refillable charcoal inserts, right? And then you just strap them on, tighten them up, and at least that'll help you some. It ain't gonna protect you against radiation or anything like that, but certain gases and certain things like that, it'll trap it, and it'll give you a fighting chance to get to where you're going. Or get somewhere safe, underground or what have you, where you could be safe, right? So they sell those on Amazon, and they're refillable. You get the inserts, they're charcoal, you slide them in, seal them up, tighten the little straps around, and then you just wrap around. They look like these. You seen the video games with the martial artists, and they got those little black masks around their face. They look like that, right?
Rebreathers, basically.
Right. And you can use like she has a scarf or a bandana. Wet it down a little bit so it can help trap, and then move on, right? Do the best you can. A shamag or something like that you can wrap around your head. They come in handy for filtering water. All those things. Keep that. So we're going to conclude it. I'm going to get right here. Show my overloaded bag. Look at that table shook. And realistically, when I think about it, it's not a lot in my bag. That I always keep multiple first aid kits. And another thing you can do is tricks. You could buy separate bags off of Amazon. You could buy them from Home Depot, Lowe's, and you could put, this is my water bag. This is my fire starting bag. And you could put all of those bags in one bag, rather than trying to squish it all in there. So you could take different bags. See, like this is my spare batteries. This is my electrolytes. This is my teas. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know what? And I did want to mention, because you mentioned the teas. in terms of herbs that you can carry, because think about it, if you don't have medicines and stuff like that, but it's some things you can carry, what is more weightless? You know, you're not gonna take a 25-pound bag, but if you take a bunch of different herbs in a plastic bag, you know, in separate plastic bags, that could be very helpful to you.
I keep, again, some type of scarf or something like that. I keep zip ties. They come in handy for shelters, locking doors, tying down stuff, tying people down. Yeah, because you can merge them together. I keep, this is my bushcraft knife. This is my favorite knife. Now, some of you all who went to some collectively sustainable stuff that we've done might have even seen me using this at Lawrence's house.
Full tang.
Yep, full tang. And this is my baby, right? Full tang. And what we mean, y'all, if y'all don't know, full tang means the steel of the blade travels all the way into the handle. It doesn't stop halfway into the handle. That's not full tang. So a lot of times when you're chopping wood or processing for firewood, something like that, it'll snap, it'll break on you, but not a full tang. You see the thickness on that? So those are things that I like, but I mean, I've sat down at collectively sustainable stuff and just I've whittled and carved out tons of stuff, forks, spoons. While everybody's talking, I done made a bowl. I done something because I'm sitting there just doing stuff. And the only reason why I do that is not because I'm bored. It's just it's an opportunity to stay in practice, right? Keep using your gear, right? So, you know, I have a good filleting knife, fishing, squirrels, hunting. That's what this one's for. Cut you open, gut you out. You know, then I'm gonna put you on the grill, right? So, folding saw, right? Processing firewood. Yeah. You know, so all convenient, all convenient. This, if you really want to get creative, is a trick. You take a piece of wood, a stick, run it through here, and you can make holes, carve out something, help you. It can help you in a lot of ways, right? I always keep one of these. They're good to have, little auger. And the reason why I have it because we got camping trips coming up. So if y'all interested, let me know today. Okay, and we also do backyard camp.
We do soft camp.
What we call soft camp. We set up we got woods back here and backyard. So we set up. You're a beginner. You spend the night. We usually have a porta potty out here, so you're not that inconvenient. Some people say, no, I want to go all the way. I'm gonna bring my own toilet. That's fine with me too. You know, and we camp in the backyard, and then that gets you ready for when we take you to the actual campsite.
So no digging holes here.
Right, right. No digging hole. You don't have to. But when we get to when we start actually camping, then that is the thing. Get out of here. That is the thing that you want to work on. So that's what I keep in this front pouch. But I always know where this stuff is, so I know where to grab it. I know I'm gonna go right here. I know all my knives and my blades are, right? This top part, fire starter, wax, right? What I call my throwaway ponchos. These are my one use, like sometimes me and her go somewhere and it'll start raining. We'll be at the range if we don't have our good ponchos, which we usually do, but if we don't, or somebody's with us and they ain't got nothing. We go, here you go. Oh man, I'm giving back. Man, keep that, throw it out. These are throwaways, right? Things that we don't keep in our house, glow sticks. You need to keep these in your bag to light a trail when you're walking and in your home, by your bed. Why?
Just in case the power goes out, you need to see when you go.
Power goes out if somebody breaks in. You can toss these in the hallway. It's psychological. So if people start seeing you tossing glow sticks and stuff in the hallway, they like, oh shit.
They prepared.
You are. Yes, you are prepared. Because now you lit it up, right? And they're like, oh, maybe this wasn't the right house.
Psychological.
And yeah, and then the next thing, or the next thing, bing, they hear the racking of that AR. They hear the cranking of that 12 gauge, right? They hear that slide. So those are things. Go bond for the feet, remember? Compass. Bug bite extractor. Ink pens, mosquito repellent, mini lantern. This is what I call my quick grab top part of my sack. So pull it up. I got light. Push it down.
And it's solar powered, isn't it? Or solar
No, this runs off battery. So that was another thing. Always check your batteries. Make sure they're not corroding.
Yeah.
So every 3 months, whether they need it or not, rotate them batteries.
But if you're in the wild and your batteries do corrode, you can actually use that as a weapon.
Can? Yeah, absolutely. Tell them how.
Whenever you have batteries and they're starting to corrode, get some water, and you can make like tripwires, and you can have the water fall on them and acid, because we dehydrate the acid. I've done. I've made like trip lines with twine. You can make different types of traps where if you hook it up a certain way, it's been a while since I've actually done it. My dad used to do that a lot. If you trip a twine that you step across because you can't see at night, you can cause things to fall from above, sticks to the there's a whole thing you can do. That's why I'm just like, oh, booby traps.
So
If
the
you have a vacuum seal, I vacuum seal my batteries.
yeah, you can do that. They still corrode though. They will. The toothpaste again. If you need a little happy, keep you happy. Hey, alcohol and it's tradable.
I mean, alcohol's always going to hurt.
Alcohol is tradable. These are self-explanatory. Hand warmers, and if you have hand warmers, you can also put them in your shoes, right? So keep hand warmers in case your feet start getting cold.
And if you break those apart because they have batteries in them, you can also use them.
For fire. The flashlights I keep mine magnetic and expandable.
I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm. Right? And I could grab stuff with it. Right? So this is one of my favorite ones. I use it a lot. So that's pretty much what I keep in here. This is my quick grab stuff, my feel good stuff.
Outside pouches are quick grabs.
Yeah, quick grabs. Things that you need to get to, insect repellent, fire starting. As you saw, I had 2 ways of fire starting in there. This is another one, right? This is, you guys hip to this company. I know this is a long video. I don't even know if y'all gonna make it all the way through this video, but
We have something like that.
right. And all of this is it has your ferrocerium rod in it and a rope, right?
Yep.
And the rope is usually coated in wax. This is probably where I'm gonna re-dip mine. And you would draw the rope here, right? And then you would take your striker and you would strike to set the rope on fire, right? Once the rope lights, I gotta retreat this one.
Yeah, it looks like it needs some
Yeah, it needs some love. But see, this is why you have to go out. Normally I use this for camping. Eventually it will, but at the end of the day, that's what this is for. It'll light like a little candle, and then you just set it in whatever you want to start on fire.
Anything
A
you
good,
put out is
yeah, soak it in wax, real lightweight wax. I used to take wax with a little mixture of lighter fluid, let it melt, I put the light fluid in, stir it, and then I just run
What
it
if you
through.
don't have wax, but you have animal fat?
You can use animal fat, Vaseline, Crisco.
Christmas
Hey.
for everything.
Crisco for everything. Lips, face, food. My mom, look.
I mean, in the wintertime, you had to get slathered up with it.
Right, yeah, you had to get slathered up with it. But this is a great toy and tool, you know, for you to use for stuff like that. And they're good to keep in your bags for a lot of reasons, right? So
Now, if the Ferris rod gets wet, does that affect its
Nope.
working?
not at all. Just rub it off and keep going. And another trick, the reason why a lot of people have a hard time starting them, when you use these rods, the rods, when you are striking against, trying to think, let's say cotton or paper, and you like, this damn rod ain't working. What's happening is it's sending a spark, but the spark, maybe what you're trying to set it to is not catching it, right? Shave off shavings. Shave off shavings. It'll look like black pepper on your stuff, right? And then strike it, and it'll catch on to that and set what you're trying to set on fire. It'll start to burn.
And if you're a little leery on actually striking this way, you can just strike with the rod itself, and
Right.
pull it against your knife.
Right. You can take your knife to do that. You know, I carry in my EDC a lot. This is Gerber. These are expensive. I ain't even hold you. But they're good to have. I can't tell you how many times I done used this thing. And if y'all been to Lawrence side, y'all always see he got the little orange thing on his hip. That's what he carries, little Gerber. You know, and these are great. Screwdriver,
You said girdle?
Gerber.
Girdle. Oh, we have one of their knives.
Gerber is good knives. Yes, I love Gerber knives.
It has
They
Ferris rod on it.
they have good steel, screwdrivers, files, pliers, and I'm telling you, I've used them. I've used them around here. When I'm on the tractor and I'm doing stuff in the back, and I be like, God dog it, and something will come off, and I'll be like, man, I need a pair of pliers. And then you look, I said, man, I gotta walk all the way back to the house to get that. And I said, wait a minute. Right? Same thing. Keep a small toolkit in your bag at all times and in your vehicle. Little ratchet set, mini ratchet set, some pliers, a little hammer, just something. Because if you have to put you a makeshift shelter together, if you gotta pry your way into something to hide for the night, you got something to do it with. Because a lot of times, you know, people are going to be mean. They're not going to care what your situation is. And then they're going to feel like, well, if I let you stay, then here comes somebody else, and here comes somebody else. And I get it, you know.
And you think about if you're moving around and people have decided to bug out, but you're having to pass somewhere. If it's an empty house, that's somewhere to shelter, if not for just the overnight, you know.
So I'm blessed. My bag is waterproof. Okay. So it can actually submerge and be okay, float. You know, as long as I keep the drawstring tight. And like her, you know. So this is my mini cook kit, right? And you know, you carry your little canisters with them and stuff like that, and light them up for food. Me and her have went to some places, and I got hungry. And
the day when we were waiting on people to come help us when the car and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, well, I'm hungry. I'm like, oh, okay.
And I broke it out, and maybe something.
3 days without eating.
I couldn't go a couple hours because I mean we had been out all day, right?
Yeah, we had.
And so again, I keep bags in bags, right? So this is where all my soap and you know my hand wash stuff, you know, like that. This is just primarily soap. So all it is soap. Right here, I know my soap is in here, right? I come down here, I got reflect something to reflect if I'm out in the field and I need an emergency. I got Lysol. I got prepared. What was it? Some pill? Medicine. Preparedness cards. You know, you can play games with them, and you can look on these cards and say, "Ooh, I need to do this or that." These are safe to say they can go. They have turned to crystal, so we're gonna be throwing them all out. Yeah. Seal cock keys.
We have one of those. Just in
Right.
case you need to
Keep them in your go bag. Right.
open up a valve or something, because different buildings have different water spouts, and you can actually use them to turn off the water.
A wet, dry notepad. If it gets wet, you still write on it. Right. Keep tape. Duct tape. Duct tape is a savior. I'm telling you. We punctured our tent one time, and yep, all of that. And again, what do you see with me? Redundancy. I had water in the other one, didn't I? Got water here, right? So those are things you want to think about. Toolkit. She been asked for all that. Throwing knives.
I mean, I was throwing axes
Mhm.
and knives at the sea started at Lawrence's.
Yep. Gloves and stuff like that. Have you actually used yours? Practice. Get you one. Spend the money. Get another one, and start practicing with it. Practice backwashing it, cleaning it. Practice drinking. Screw it on your bottled water that you get. Your Hinkley. The water they sell in the stores is all full of that plastic and shit. Use this. Screw it on the bottom and start drinking your water from it. And then practice cleaning it out once a week. You know, that way you get used to using it. This is water collection right here. So this will collect water for you. And you can screw it on here, hang it upside down. And, you know, if you dipping in a lake or you dipping in a river, right? So those are things. Practice with your stuff. None of this means nothing if you don't practice with it. I can't stress it enough, because when you get into that situation and you got all the things, you don't want to be like what the park rangers find when they find people that had all the things to survive with and they died because they didn't practice with it, they didn't use it, right? So this is what I keep here. Safety goggles, right? What if, if there is a nuclear event, you don't want the ash coming in your eyes, stuff like that. Bag in a bag. What is that? Redundancy. Whistle. Compass. Water compass. Why do you need a whistle? That's right, to alert, to let people know if you got a search party out, stuff like that. And in here, I got another redundancy, another Israeli bandage, more fire starter. These cotton balls are soaked in Vaseline. I got more batteries. I got another flashlight. I have a boo-boo kit. I have ice bags, all of that, right? And then of course, I'm not gonna show y'all my pants and my drawers, but that's the squishy stuff that's in here right now. So I keep, couple of shirts, couple of pair of underwear, wool socks.
Yeah.
Why wool socks, guys?
Because they are warm and they also are waterproof.
They dry quickly when they get wet. Wool socks don't.
Is what she said.
Yeah. Cotton kills. Cotton kills.
But I'd be afraid to get some wool socks though, because I'm just like,
That's itchy, but I mean, the main thing, you lose your heat mostly in your head and your feet. And most time they tell you don't lose most of your heat in your head and in your feet. These are our, what? Look at that.
Yeah, I'm thankful. I don't know.
wool socks,
No,
Faraday cage,
no,
tent.
no.
We don't
It's a
know.
waterproof something.
Right. You don't remember? These are our froggy socks. So basically, This is what we pull over when we want to stay dry and warm. What do we call that? Poncho. These are our ponchos. Good company. Good company. This is a good company, right? I'm not being paid, but this is a good company, and they have this, right? So just keep this in mind, and it's reusable. You can snap it, they have a way where you can snap it and all that kind of stuff. Now, what the hell you gonna snap it on? I don't know. But at the end of the day, you want to have it. I also keep carabiners. So if you had to hang food from a tree, you had to keep it away from wild animals, you can hang it up. Carabiners can come in handy when you want to carry extra stuff and hang it off your bag. Solar panels, on that bag we have mobile solar panels that I can hang on the bag, fold them out, and while we walk in, the sun is absorbing and I'm charging. Right? We keep 2 to 3 extra power banks. 2 that are solar, and a couple that we just recharge, right? I'm trying to see what else is in here. Yes! Gotta have that hat. Gotta have a hat, right?
My hat comes with
Keeps you cool, keeps the bugs off of you, things like that. Always have a hat. Always have a hat. Either a brimmed hat, a floppy hat. Always keep you an extra hat. It's a lot of things that we don't think about, and until it happens, we say, "Oh my God, redundancy." Another, what is this? No, look at it.
Burn kit.
Burn kit.
So if you get burned, you can just
Burn kit. How many people have gotten hurt at campfires trying to start something? You working with something and it explodes on you. It happens. I've seen it.
hold my beer crowd. Hold the beer right.
I've seen it happen. So get you a good burn. You should have a burn kit in your house, at least 2 or 3, and a burn blanket. Right? These are my socks.
Burn blanket.
I'm just feeling around it. I ain't trying to show. That's my
You have to
socks.
be careful with the burn blankets though, because some of them are made still with fiberglass.
Right.
So the non-fiberglass ones is one you want for a burn blanket.
And have 2 different types of extinguishers. One for water that sprays water. I keep 2 in the truck, and you want 1 powdered form.
So the powder is
The powdered form is,
all the white stuff.
yeah, that's the one you want to use when you're dealing with grease and electrical fires.
There's the water.
Though you don't want to throw water on electric.
No, I'm saying you said fire extinguisher and water.
And one is water based, and one is powder based. When you're dealing with certain chemicals, fire, grease, oil, you want to use the powdered form. If you just got a regular fire that's getting out of control, use the water. But you want to keep at least 2 of those in your vehicle. So so I got two days worth of clothes in here. I got wool socks. I got my ponchos. I got breaching stuff. I got redundancy of water, a redundancy of food, right? And a way to, and a way of a way to make it. A way to make it. Tourniquets. You hip to those, right? Have 1 or 2 for each person in your family, right? You want to have at least 1 or 2. My knee is swollen today. You want to have 1 or 2 for each one in the family. Sometimes an injury is bad and you're going to need 2 sometimes to stop one bleed. 1 will slow it down. The second one sometimes will shut it off. If you're not lucky with the first one, you're going to have to apply another one. Now, the rule of thumb is, who do you, in an emergency situation, you just got in a car accident, who do you take care of first?
Yourself.
Always take care of yourself first. You're not being mean. You're not being selfish. I can't help Bree if I can't help me. Am I concerned about her? Hell yeah. So I'm going to work fast to take care of me so I can get to her, right? So Have extra tourniquets. Do not. Please read. Don't buy cheap tourniquets. They will snap. You'll start tightening them up. Those fibers will start to separate and they'll pop. Or they'll stretch and they'll never get tight on a person. You're doing you an injustice and you're doing them an injustice. You know, there are a lot of companies out here like Mir and all of them that will sell you good tourniquets. Are they a little costly? Are they like 30, 40 some bucks depending per tourniquet? Yeah, but it's to save your life.
Or just rent a hospital.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you use these and they go to the hospital, you don't get them back.
Yes, one time use.
They will not give them back to you. You saved a life, and more than likely, if it's contaminated with blood, they're gonna throw them out. Right? They're gonna cut them and throw them out. More than likely, they're gonna cut them, or they'll release it, cut it, toss it, because they're trying to get to that wound, and it's not gonna be any good to you anyway. So just keep in mind when you buy them and you have to use them in an emergency situation, you're going to have to buy some more. You can buy some to train with. The ones that you train with, you might see they might have them like 3 for $12 or $20 or something like that. You know them for training. Practice with your family. Practicing yourself. Get used to tightening that up and what that feels like. Because I'm also going to do Stop the Bleed with you guys if you're interested. We'll do a Stop the Bleed course, packing wounds, and first aid. So I always implement that a lot of times, especially in my firearms community, because somebody could get hurt. Right? I've seen weapons explode in people's hands that had no idea what they're doing. They put their gun together. I said, "Oh, you put your gun together?" And they're like, "Yeah, you know." And they go fire it. They didn't put it together right. There's pieces all over the place. It's guys that have listened to their friends. Oh, Bubba, I can load up. I can give you good reloads, and then they go. First few rounds is great. Third round, the whole top of the rifle blows off in their face, losing half their face, ears, everything. Buy your ammunition, fresh, reputable company, right? But again, that's it, y'all. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let's go over it again. Bugout bags don't have to be backpacks unless you plan. You can get duffel bags that work like backpacks. Put them for each one of your family in a place where you can grab them and go. You don't have to think about it. You got food, you got water, you got a way to protect yourself. You grab those bags and you're out the door. You don't want to be standing around the house. Okay, what I got to get? Okay, where's that at, baby? Where did I put that? Where do I go? Seconds count. Especially somebody breaching your home. Right? So, or there's something massive coming your way and you trying to escape. Make sure it's stocked up with dry food as much as you can. It's okay to take a few little cans of tuna, sardines, or whatever. You know, most part you want dry goods. Dry, freeze-dried foods. Mountain House. Who else we got? Because I got so many different ones. I love Mountain House. I keep those in here. Yeah, those kind of companies.
My Patriot sells.
My Patriot. You know, you want to get.
Another company I can't remember.
Yeah, you could get things like that, and those are very helpful to you. Pack them in your bag. Why? Because they're light.
Some people sell boxes of MREs.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Keep you a gallon, half gallon, 2 gallons of water by your bag, so you can grab that and take it with you. At least that starts you off. Your Bugout bags. Let's go over it again. We know you wrote down your rules of 3. 3 minutes of air, right?
3 days of water.
3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and all of that is situational based on what's going on in the environment. Whether you're having a medical condition, it's too cold, it's too wet, and start packing your bags that way. Have a map, have a plan. Think about your routes that you take every day, and just ask yourself, even when you're going to the grocery store, what if something broke out here? How far am I from home? Which way would I walk home or go back home? Or if I had to drive, which way would I drive? I'm going to the bank. I do this all the time. I'm at the bank. What's the plan? What's around me? What can I get to? Do I have my maps just in case? Because when you're in local areas, you really don't need a compass too much. Not too much. Most everything's gonna have a road sign. North this way, 94 west that way, 84 this way. So those are all things that you got to keep in mind. Have the plans. Have things to keep you warm. Plan on if you're over 20 miles. What do? We may have to stay somewhere. We may have to camp out. We don't want to be where? On the side of the road. We want to be deep into somewhere where far enough where people can't see us from the road and bother us. We want to be gray man. We want to be as inconspicuous as possible. We don't want to get a bunch of military bags with all the camouflage and all that. You don't want to be looking tactical walking down the street, because they're gonna be like, oh, I know who to rob. You want basic, everyday. Look at this bag. Everyday, like a book bag. Everyday stuff. Her bag is perfect. Everyday gray man stuff, and just go out and do what you got to do. All them tactical bags and all that, they look pretty, and they if you're going camping, if you're going hiking, sure, this is a hiking bag. This is a bag that you can take camping. But you can take duffel bags. They have new duffel bags now that have wheels that you can literally roll them up and put them in this bag. You can roll it out, and it can hold 100 gallons worth of material. It'll open up this big, and you can just stuff it. Just remember, whatever you stuff in it, you got to carry. But if you're bugging out, you're planning not to come back home for a while, so you don't care. You want to get that heavy bag in your vehicle or wherever you're going, and go from there. If it's a situation where you can't run your vehicle, then you're gonna have to take some stuff out of that bag, or rely on this bag. You'll get home or get to your next location. Get to my friend's house. Get to my family's house. Keep cash, small denominations, right? Keep water, keep electrolytes. If you're on medication, make sure your family and you got medication. And that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna stop this.
The only thing I also gonna
Well, I'ma still stop
having
it.
a plan.
Right.
That was it. Have a plan.